Alright, so here we go with the weird boys, the Genestealer Cults. Apparently every single one of them is an uprising of miners. The miners are very unhappy, their union is bad, they aren't getting fed well, and they are doing nothing but being infested by Genestealers constantly. Someone needs to do something about the mine regulations in the Imperium, because for what it's worth, they keep turning into four-armed space aliens. But if you haven't watched my previous reviews, this is Psychic Awakening, the greater good. They all think they're doing the greater good. All these factions do. These ones might actually be doing the greater good. I figure the Tyranids winning is probably the best possible outcome from the galaxy from the point of view of everyone living there right now. You'd be part of just like the most balanced ecosystem. Everything's equitable. You're all just biomass. Bring it on. That's it. The Four-Armed Emperor 2020. So you can go up here in the cards and watch my previous two videos on the Tau and the greater good, as well as the Farside Enclaves and the 8. And then the Stormtroopers and Imperial Guard. The Imperial Guard. I refuse to use new names. I'm set in my ways in the other two previous videos. But yeah, you just click up there and you can jump right over if you want to watch them first. But if not, if you're here for the wacky boys with the forearms, then that's what we're jumping into now. The Star Children. You get all kinds of stuff. But the one thing you don't get, because I don't know why, is you don't get the name generator first. It comes last now. 3 sections, clearly all written by different people. One person didn't get the memo that we're moving the name generator to the first part of the book. Oh, I'm so disappointed. Anyway, you get some errata, things that change. Things change up Cult Ambush, Brood Brothers a little bit, and the orders for Brood Brothers. Your cult creeds, you can make your own cult creeds. You don't have to just be the best one from the Codex. You can make up your own by mixing and matching 2 different abilities, just like making your own Space Marine chapter, or your Guard Regiment, or your Tau Enclave, or your Craft World, or all the other bits and bobs that are allowing you to make these things now. And then new cult psychic powers to use your brain to shoot folks. And some new stratagems as well. So, what do we got here? Errata, the Cult Ambush. I'll be honest, I don't remember that well how it worked before, so I'm just going to go through it and talk to you about how it works now. I basically remember it was put out a whole bunch of counters instead of deploying your army, and then your opponent would deploy, and then you would reveal the counters to be your army at some point. I don't remember if it was during the first turn. I can't remember exactly when it was, but they would all reveal, basically. It was just like a double blind deployment system. It's kind of cool. It was their gimmick. And now it's during deployment. If you can set up this unit in ambush instead of on the battlefield. If this unit is a biker or infantry unit, you can set it up in ambush or underground, because you're all miners, because everyone's a miner in the Genestealer Cult army. I don't know why. When you set up a unit underground, it can emerge at the end of any of your movement phases. Set this unit up anywhere in the battlefield that's more than 9 from the enemy. When you set this up in ambush, place an ambush marker anywhere in the battlefield that's wholly within your deployment zone. You'll need 1 ambush marker for each unit that will deploy in this way. If you set up a transport model in ambush, you must still tell your opponent which units are embarked within it, even if you set them up in ambush. Ambush markers that are not units and cannot be they are not units, cannot be targeted, attacked, or destroyed when measuring to or from an ambush model or marker. Always measure to the center of the marker. If you're playing a mission that uses concealed deployment or the concealed deployment rules, only apply units. They only apply to units that do not have cult ambush. If you're playing a mission that uses sentry models cannot be set up in ambush, even if they have the cult ambush ability. And then in match play, units set up in ambush using this rule count as being set up on the battlefield for the purposes of tactical reserve, so you don't lose them basically on turn 4. And then revealing ambush markers, if you have the first turn, you must reveal all your ambush markers to start your movement phase, 1 at a time before moving any units. Each time you reveal an ambush marker, select 1 unit from your army that you set up in ambush, then set up 1 model from that unit within 1 inch of that ambush marker, then remove the marker, and then set the rest of them up wholly within 6 of the first model. And wholly within your deployment zone and more than 9 from the enemy. And units that can't be placed this way are destroyed, so you can go sit on the markers and kill everybody. If it's your turn, if it is your turn, the unit can still move and shoot normally during the turn it's set up, but if it's in a transport, units that disembark from this, you cannot be set up with the non-enemy models. Note that that unless these units actually move during the movement phase, they're not kind of having moved in the movement phase for the purpose of firing heavy weapons. If your opponent has the first turn, then none of their units can be set up or end moves within 9 inches of any of your ambush markers, because you can't get rid of them. That's right. You can't arrive on top of them, because you get spooked at the edge. At the end of your opponent's movement phase, after they have set up all of their units from reinforcement, if any, reveal all of your ambush markers as described above before continuing the turn. So basically, you drive up to them, get within 9, or not quite within 9, and then at the end of your opponent's movement phase, they all show up. So it's always the first turn they show up, and it's always the first person going when they show up. It just depends if it's your movement phase or their movement phase. Brood Brothers, several Genestealer Cult units also have the Brood Brother keyword. These units can be included in a Genestealer Cult detachment without preventing their units in the detachment from getting a cult creed. However, they don't get a cult creed themselves. In addition, to represent the military forces that you've subverted, you can include Astro Military units and Genestealer Cult units in the same match play army, even though they have different keywords. In addition, ignore the Astro Military units when choosing your army's faction. If your army's Battleforged, you can include one Astro Military detachment in your army for each Genestealer Cult detachment in your army. You can include any Astro Military named characters in these detachments. They don't get the brain bugs. You don't get to put the Futurama thing? You get the mind slimes, the brain jellies. Thank you. It was cold down there on their heads. Detachments cannot be specialist detachments. These Astro Militarum, so none of the stuff from the 2 previous campaign books. These Astro Militarum detachments are known as Brood Brothers detachments, and every unit in that unit has a regiment or military type of keyword must replace it with Brood Brothers. So you don't get a regiment either. Brood Brother detachments do not gain any detachment abilities listed in Codex Astro Militarum or such regimental doctrines, nor can they use any regiment-specific stratagems, orders. Furthermore, infantry models in Brood Brothers detachments increase their leadership characteristic by 1 and gain unquestioning loyalty. Units in Brood Brothers detachments do not gain cult ambush ability. Your warlord cannot be from a Brood Brothers detachment, and you cannot give any relics to Brood Brothers characters. No Lord of Victory. In addition, the command benefits of all Brood Brothers detachments included in your army in this way are halved. This represents that the detachments are not the cult's primary fighting force. The command benefits of auxiliary support detachments are unaffected. Orders. Brood Brothers units that have the voice of command or tank orders ability cannot issue orders to any unit that has the Genestealer Cult faction keyword, so you can't shout at other people. Nor can they issue orders to units that would not have been able to be issued orders to before they got the Brood Brothers keyword, so you can't give orders to Ogryns and Tempest Scions units. And then transports. Brood Brothers Thorax Primes can only transport 10 Brood Brother Officio Perfectus infantry, or 10 infantry models that replace their Militarum Tempest keyword with Brood Brothers. So you basically, all the restrictions still apply. It's just neatening all it up. All right, the Cult Creeds and Creed 2, Electric Boogaloo. So you get to pick 2 of these and mix and match. And that's it. They replace whatever your other Cult Creed would be. So you get to make up your own. So Hunter's Instincts, until the end of the first battle round, add 1 to advance and charge rolls made for units with this Cult Creed. Innate Fighters, when resolving an attack made with a melee weapon by a model with this Cult Creed in a turn which they made a charge move, was charged or performed a heroic intervention, reroll hit roll of 1. Thralls the Patriarch, when a morale test is taken for a unit with this Cult Creed, have the number of models that flee. Seasoned Enforcers, infantry models with this Cult Creed do not suffer the penalty for moving and firing heavy weapons. And Agile Outriders, biker models with this Cult Creed do not suffer the penalty for moving and firing heavy weapons, and do not suffer the penalty for advancing and firing assault weapons. AP Ammo, when resolving an attack with an auto pistol, auto gun, or heavy stubber within half range, it's AP -1. Munitions Experts, add 1 of the strength characteristic of grenades that your cult is equipped with. It's cool for the satchel charges and stuff, the mining stuff that you throw off. You do have a lot of grenades. That doesn't sound good for most other armies, but for the Genestealers it's kind of cool. Unnatural Symbiosis, when a psych test is taken for a cult model with a Cult Creed within 6 inches of another friendly Cult Creed unit, you can reroll any dice rolls 1. Workers Arisen, when resolving an attack made with a weapon from the heavy mining weapons list by a model with this Cult Creed, you can reroll the hit roll. So just rerolling hit with mining weapons, that's cool for the mining lasers. And they have a lot of close range zappy guns. Being able to just reroll the hit roll is pretty awesome. Devout Worshippers, when a charge roll is made with a cult unit with a Cult Creed within 3 inches of a cult hybrid metamorphs unit, you roll the dice. The Cult Creed cannot be selected together with the Hunter's Instinct Cult Creeds. No getting the +1 and rerolling. Poison Blades, it's the last one. When resolving an attack made with a Bone Sword, a Lash Whip, and Bone Sword or a Cultist Knife by a model with this Cult Creed, a modified roll of 6, you can make an additional attack using the same weapon. It does not generate any further attacks. And then some stratagems. So the Prepared Ambush, for 1. Use stratagem in your shooting phase. Select 1 Neophyte Hybrid unit from your army that was set up in the battlefield using Cult Ambush this battle round. Till the end of the phase, autoguns become Assault 2. 1 CP for Annihilating Advance. Use this stratagem in your charge phase with a Goliath Rock Grinder. You know, a mining vehicle, because they're all miners. From your army to finish a charge move. I just want to see one where they're all like office workers. That'd be awesome. Select 1 enemy infantry unit within an inch of that unit on a D6 2+. They take D3 mortal wounds. So you get a mortal wound impact hit for your rock grinders. 2 ZB for integrated VoxNet. Use the stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Select one Jackal Alphys model from your army. Until the end of that phase, replace the model's priority target sighted ability with the following: Vox Contact. At the start of your shooting phase, select one enemy unit within 36 inches invisible to this model until the end of that phase. When resolving an attack made by a friendly cult model against a unit, whilst this model is within 18 of that model, add one to the hit roll. An enemy unit can only be selected as the target of this ability or priority target sighted ability once per phase. So basically you can call someone out, you pick a model within 36, and then pick a friend within 18 and get +1 to hit. 1 ZB for close range shootout. Use a stratagem in your shooting phase when an Italian Jackals unit for your army is chosen to shoot with. What? What? This feels like it's in the wrong place. That's gotta be a typo. And Atalant, no, that must be the Kellermorph. Yeah, because the Atalant Jackals is, you can't literally have, that's one of the, I didn't know this up before. Yeah, it's one of these guys. It's the, no, the Cyan Jackals? Oh no, Atalant Jackal. Oh, I'm just mixing it up because it's not. I thought it was the thing from the Stormtroopers before. Atalant Jackals is the bikes. For some reason, I was like, I thought from it they were using a guard reference in there. I got super confused. No, it's the bikes. When Atalant Jackals unit from your army is chosen to shoot with, just disregard me. I'm very tired. Until the end of that phase, when resolving attack with a pistol or assault weapons from models in that unit within 12. You can reroll the wound roll. So you can reroll wound rolls within 12 inches if you're using pistol and assault weapons for Atalant Jackals. For some reason, because I was just reading the guard one before this, the Tempest of Science have a new regiment, which is a Jackals as well. And I was like, what? It just broke my mind for a second. What? I should have just called them the Imagine Dragons. 1 ZB for Violence Unleashed. Use the stratagem in the fight phase when a hybrid metamorphs unit from your army is chosen to fight with. At the end of that phase, add one of the attack characteristic of models in that unit. 1 CP Commanding Amplification. Use this stratagem before the battle. Select one Clamovis model from your army. Range of that model's Proclamator Hailer abilities increased by 3. The same model cannot be selected by the stratagem more than once per battle. 1 CP for the Gnarled Fist. Use stratagem before the battle. Select one Abominate unit from your army. That unit's chosen one ability affects friendly cult appearance within 9 rather than within 6. And you can only use it once per battle. That's pretty cool for upping your buffs. 1 ZB for Raking Fire. Use a stratagem in your shooting phase. Select one Achilles Ridge Runners unit from your army until the end of that turn. Resolving attack with a heavy stubber by a model in that unit. Add one of the hit and wound rolls. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's just the stubbers though. 1 CP for the Cult Psyche. Use stratagem before the battle. Select one Cult Magus unit from your army. That unit can attempt to manifest one additional psych power in your psych phase. When a psych test is taken for that unit, add one of the total for each other friendly cult psyker within 3 inches to a maximum of +3. But you can only use it once per battle. So you can draw on the cult's brain. 1 CP for Slipping Through the Shadows. Use stratagem in your movement phase when a Sanctus unit is chosen to move. Until the end of the phase, when the unit advances, add 6 to its move until instead of making the roll. In addition, to the end of the turn, that unit can be chosen to charge even if it advances. So you just go whoop and go super fast and then charge somebody. Genetic Lineage, 1 CP, use a stratagem in the charge phase. Select one Acolyte Hybrid unit from your army. To the end of the phase, that unit can be chosen to charge even if it advanced in this turn. And then Evasive Driving for 1 CP, use a stratagem when your opponent's shooting phase. When a Goliath Rock Rider or Goliath Truck unit from your army is chosen as the target of attack, made with a ranged weapon. To the end of the phase, weapons with an armor penetration characteristic of -1 or -2 are treated as having an armor penetration characteristic of 0 when resolving attack against that unit. 1 CP for Overcharged Weaponry. Use stratagem in your shooting phase when a cult unit from your army is chosen to shoot with until the end of that phase. When resolving an attack made with a Clearance Incinerator, Heavy Mining Laser, or Heavy Seismic Cannon, add one to the wound roll. And the Heart of the Creed, use a stratagem before the battle. Select one Cult Primus model from your army. When that model is set up on the battlefield for the first time, you can select an additional enemy unit for that model's Meticulous Planner ability. You only use it once though, that's pretty cool. And then your new psychic powers. Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor's Undermine. So for these are all based on the specific cults from the codex. So you get one each basically depending upon what your cult is. Undermine is a warp charge of 8. If you manifest it, select an enemy infantry unit with an 18. Until the end of that next psychic phase, have the movement characteristic of models in that unit and have any advanced charge rolls. Hive Cult gets Synaptic Blast. Warp charge 6. If manifested, select an enemy unit with an 18 invisible. Roll a number of d6 equal to the number of Hive Cult models from your army within 3 of that unit. For each 6, the unit suffers a mortal wound. The Bladed Cog gets Undying Vigor. Has a warp charge of 6. Select a Bladed Cog unit within 12 of the Psyker until the end of your next Psych phase. When a model would lose a wound on a d6 roll, 5 blood, not lost. Basically, it's catalyst for the bladed cog. The rusted claw, Dr. Claw, inescapable decay. Warp charge 6, if manifested, select an enemy vehicle within 18 invisible. Until the end of the turn, when resolving attack made with a weapon against that unit, improve its AP by 1. The Pauper Princes get last gasp. That might be my favorite name for one of the cults in here, the Pauper Princes. I think that's super cool. It's Warp Charge 7. If you manifest it, select a Pauper Prince unit within 12 of the Psyker until the start of your next Psych phase. When a model in that unit is destroyed, roll a d6 before it's removed from play. On a 4+, they can either shoot with a ranged weapon or fight in the fight phase. And then Twisted Helix, they're not going to take it anymore. It has a Warp Charge of 6. If manifested, select one enemy infantry unit within 12 inches of the Psyker until the start of your next Psychic phase. When resolving attack made by a melee weapon by a Twisted Helix model from your army against the unit, add 1 to the rule roll. So +1 to wound and melee for the Twisted Sisters. Yeah, cool. And then the part you've all been waiting for, the name generator. We always wanted to know this. What type of mining people names would I have if I were a Genestealer cultist? 34, Skier, 61, Skier Drevender. I don't sound very trustworthy. What about if I was 52? Madrax, 43, Madrax Novek. It's all very like, I don't know. I don't feel like those are very common Imperial names. Anyway, there we go. That was the Genestealer Cults, and that is the end of my review of Psychic Awakening for the Greatest of Greater Goods. The 3-part update for the Guard, the Spacemans, the Tau, the Robot Mans, and the 4-Hour Emperor Mans, the Genestealer Cult. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you missed the other reviews, go open the cards. They'll all be linked up there. And you can check them out. And until next time, when we get another one of these giant dynamic updates to 40K, and there's a bajillion rules to go through, I'm Ash. Have a great night. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to support the channel, of course, like and subscribe and hit the little bell below so you get notifications when I post future content. I do post stuff 7 days a week. If you want to support the channel further, you can, of course, buy a t-shirt through Spreadshirt, buy a measuring gauge or objective markers from Death Ray Designs, or, of course, most importantly, there is Patreon. Patreon is what makes all this possible, keeps the lights on, pays for the studio costs, pays for the equipment, model costs, and everything else, and most importantly, puts food in my kids' bellies and a roof over their heads. Big thanks to everyone, past, future, who supported me. I do this stuff because of you guys, and of course, I will continue doing it as long as I can.